Hi everyone, we have an interesting topic to discuss today. Have you ever asked yourself why you pay and suffer the consequences of your sin, even though we blame Satan for all our sinful and evil hearts? Yet it seems God doesn't really care. He punishes and promises death for every sinful soul, instead of putting all the blames and punishment on Satan, as we all always imagine it to be. But in this video, I want you to know that Satan is not to be blamed. Every average man, when we sin, we blame it on Satan for making us sin. But at the end of the day, we are the one who suffer the consequences and punishment for that evil or sinful hearts. And if we refuse to receive Christ before death comes, God will cast us away into everlasting darkness. Now the real question is this: if Satan is truly to be blamed for our sins, and hell has been prepared for him and the demons, the fallen angels, why then do we partake in the suffering? According to the scripture, and by my own understanding, Satan only has one job: to introduce sin to man, in order to lead them out of the way of the Lord. Just the way he did with Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Even Jesus was not exempted. And yet it is also true that we are the one responsible for the devilish heart committed. And this is why the Lord has never and will never punish Satan for the sins we commit. That is why countries have prisons and correctional centers. Or is there nowhere in the scripture, where God says, "Oh, Israel have sinned, and I will punish Satan for their sins"? No, most of the time they end up in slavery. Now, why should man be blamed? Let's take the first sin committed in the Garden of Eden as an example. Genesis chapter 3, verse 4 to 6. In verse 4 and 5, Satan presented a convincing reasons and justification for Eve to disobey God's instruction. But verse 6 gives us a clear picture of why Eve made that decision. Let's read. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruits thereof, and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. The first thing I saw in that verse was covetousness. Even when you've gotten enough, you still desire that which is not yours. Examples are politicians with fat salaries and allowances. Still they desire that which belongs to the masses. Despite the fact that David had wives and concubines, yet he took Bathsheba, Uriah's wife. Desiring good things is not a sin, but acting against God in getting them is the problem. You don't care who you trample upon to get it. The second thing in the verse is man's desire to be wise like God. We want to be in the same level with God, and that is what we're seeing all over the world today. Men want to be smarter than God, wiser than God. And that has brought us more evil than good, because the heart of man is full of wickedness. Even God says so. And that is why we need to stay glued to God through Christ Jesus. Coronavirus, for instance, was created out of the exhibition of man's wisdom. HIV/AIDS, you can name them. We rejected God's wisdom. We don't want to live according to his will. Little do we know, the wiser man thinks he becomes, the more it destroys humanity. So with that single verse, we can see that Satan never pushed or forced anybody into sin. He only pollutes our heart with reasons to commit sin. But man made the choice out of his own selfish desires. One of the gateways Satan uses to establish his kingdom and mission is through man's unguided desires. So the devil wraps up sin with our lusts, desires, what we think we are, what we think we should be, what we want so dearly, to lure us into what we should actually stay away from. It then becomes a matter of truth and self-discipline to stay true to ourselves. So blaming Satan for our sin seems to be a way of escape and a kind of justification to continue in sin. James chapter 1 verse 15 says, "Then when lust hath been conceived, it brings forth sin, and sin, when it's finished, brings forth death." It's that simple. So let's break it down again and make it clearer. Satan introduces sin to us. He doesn't push or force us to do it, but he presents it with everything he can find in us to steer us, to move us into committing the heart and submitting to his will. But the truth is, the decision is yours to make, whether to yield or not. And that is why you need the word of God in your heart to guide you in the steps you take, in the decisions you make. So please, from today, stop blaming Satan for your actions. Instead, take responsibility for everything you do. God bless you.